I'm Allie from Haven's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making gingery miso roasted veggies. There are a few combos that just rock our kitchen. Our gingery miso sauce, lime, and roasted peanuts, amazing together. We're gonna put that all together over some roasted cauliflower and broccolini. The secret to this recipe is adding our sauce to the roasting pan while it's still hot from the oven, and the cauliflower and the broccoli are just like newly roasted. The warmth from the pan heats up the sauce and it turns into this amazing like miso-y glaze. Then we add peanuts and sesame seeds, toss the whole thing together, zest some lime on the top, and it's kind of amazing. If this recipe sounds like something you'd like to make, subscribe to get all of our new videos. All right, let's get started. So now we're gonna prep our veggies, and I wanna show you about cutting a cauliflower because there's a handy dandy way to do that. We're gonna start with the cauliflower floret down, and we're gonna be using our knife to basically create a hole, cutting out the core, going around and around. There we go. We're basically just going to pull out the core like that. Set that aside, and then continue going around the center of the cauliflower, and as you go around, the florets will just kind of fall off. I like this because it kind of prevents all of these little bits of cauliflower from flying all over the place and landing on your floor and eventually causing more cleanup. So we're continuing to go around, cutting the florets off. This is totally edible. You just want to cut it into a little smaller pieces because it's going to take a little longer to cook. And one thing about cauliflower or broccoli or really anything is you're going to end up with a floret this size and a floret this size. So what you want to do is you want to break these down so that they're all this size so that everything cooks evenly. There are natural places where the cauliflower kind of likes to be cut. And again, it'll save you from having bits of cauliflower all over your kitchen floor. And it helps to cut into not the floret part, but more of the core part. It'll just save you some cleanup later. And I'm not so much chopping as kind of like making a little cut and kind of moving the florets away. So when you're cooking broccoli, sometimes we like to use broccolini just because it's, really pretty, it cooks quick, it's delicious, it's easy to work with. If you are using traditional broccoli, we like to hold it from the root down so the florets are at the bottom and kind of slice down again so you don't end up with little broccoli florets all over the place. In this case, we're just going to kind of cut off the florets, add them into the bowl with the cauliflower. You can add some of the stem. The lower down you go, the harder the stem is, but up here it's still really nice and tender. And if you want, you can peel that and just snack on it. It's good fiber. So now all we're going to do is drizzle a little bit of olive oil on our veggies, give it a good toss, add a little bit of salt, and spread them out on the sheet pan. And when you're roasting, you really want to give the veggies as much space as possible. You don't want them piled high on top of each other because that's going to create steam and it's not going to get that really nice caramelized effect that you want. So spread them out, give them lots of space. Hot oven. Normally, I would lay parchment paper down when I was roasting, but because we're adding the hot sauce and we're going to give it a stir and like warm up the sauce with the hot pan, we're not using parchment paper. And we're just going to spread out the veggies, again, trying to create as much surface area of the veggie touching the hot pan as possible. We're going to roast these, and when they're done, we're going to squeeze on some sauce, toss with the peanuts and the sesames and some lime zest, and we have a great veggie side dish. Okay, so our veggies are crispy and hot. The pan is still hot. All we're gonna do is squeeze on a little bit of gingery miso, about 1/4 of a pouch, and give it a nice toss with the tongs. The heat from the pan and the heat from the veggies is gonna warm up the sauce. It's gonna get this nice glaziness to it. The flavor of the miso and the sesame oil, a little bit of tamari, it's perfect. And then we're just gonna top it with our roasted peanuts. I've just put these in the toaster for a couple minutes. And some toasted sesame. Because, I mean, everything should have toasted sesame on it. And then the final piece is a little bit of lime zest. We're not squeezing lime juice on the veggies because that'll take away some of the crispness, but we do want the acid and the flavor from the lime. So all we're gonna do is zest it. That way you get all of that lime flavor, but you're not adding liquid. A little bit of flaky salt, and we're done. So there you have it, miso gingery roasted vegetables. We've got some peanuts and sesame seeds. Great for an evening side dish, great for the veggie lovers in your life. Great all the time. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to like this video and subscribe to see all our new videos. For the full recipe and a textable shopping list, click the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and cook happy.